Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. This is the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. And as you know, if you keep up with the Open Mic Broadcast Network, we feature high school coverage for 4 of our local schools, Waller Bulldogs, the Hempstead Bobcats, the Royal Falcons, and, of course, the Rosehill Christian Eagles. And we have been fortunate enough to be in the presence of the back-to-back state baseball champions in the TAP division, the Rosehill Christian Eagles head baseball coach, Coach Robert Cooper. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing good today. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, we appreciate having you, and congratulations. Give us a recap of your year, and we'll get right into this thing.
Sure. It was a lot different this year. Coming in as defending champions, it was the whole feeling was a little bit different. We had a lot of starters back, and played a really difficult pre-district schedule, and kind of set us up for district play, which we won our district. We went undefeated in district, and then kind of survived a couple really, really tough playoff games, a quarterfinal game against Hallettsville Sacred Heart, and a semifinal game against Pasadena First Baptist, who's actually in our district. And then we played real well in the state championship game and beat Dallas Lutheran. So it was good. It was a lot different than winning it for the first time. So, but it was good, and our boys really stepped it up, and they really came to play every single game. And our goal ultimately was to win another championship, and we did it. So it was very fulfilling.
Well, it's also fulfilling when you are defending the championship and you're able to succeed and go through. How different was it from winning your first one compared to winning your second?
Well, in 2016, we came in second in our district, and we played well, but we lost 3 district games, and we had 5 or 6 sophomores starting. So at the beginning of the year, we weren't very good. In 2015, going back, we had 7 seniors starting, but we won district and we lost in the playoffs. But we had a really good year that year. So going into 2016, we had a bunch of young guys, and at the beginning of the year, we weren't very good, and then we just got better, and we, like I said, we lost a few district games, and then went into the playoffs, and we almost lost our first playoff game in 2016, barely won a game. We scored 3 runs with 2 outs in the 6th inning, and we were down to San Antonio Lutheran. So we barely escaped that first game, and then I think our guys were just so excited that we won that first playoff game. We just kind of went on a roll, and we just, with each victory, it was just that unto itself was just a great accomplishment. Who cares what happens next week, sort of type of thing. And then before you knew it, we were in the state semifinals, and we win that game, and then before you know it, we're winning the state championship. Everyone's jumping around. It was just like so unbelievable that we didn't think never in our wildest dreams did we think we would have ended up there. Well, this year coming in, it was totally different. It was like we got to take care of business. We have 5 starters back from last year's team. Of our 2, our number 1 pitcher was back. Our 3 and 4 hitters were back. So we came in, and it was kind of like we knew what our goal was. Our goal was to get back to state, but really our ultimate goal was to win the championship. So when we went undefeated in district, which is a great feat unto itself, it was kind of, the boys were excited, but not real excited because they knew that what our ultimate goal was. So it was like there was more pressure this year. The first year was just, with every victory, it was just great, but this year it was more, we got to win this game because we know where we ultimately want to be. So when this year finished, I would say that this year was much, much more difficult than winning it for the first time. It was more in 2016 jumping around after the championship game. I can tell you after this championship game, it was more like I need to sit down and before I pass out, just because it was just, we knew what the goal was, and to really to do it, it's just, it was, I would just say it was much, much more difficult to win it the second time. So.
We're speaking with head baseball coach of the Rosehill Christian Eagles. We affectionately call them the Angry Birds, and Coach Robert Cooper, back-to-back state champions of Division 2A the first year, and then 4 in this year for TAPS. Now, Coach, a lot of people, when they hear, TAPS division or Christian school, there's some myths that go around, like athletics is not that big of an importance, and it's not that big. But winning does play a role, even though there's a room for improvement on the guys because they're winning. when you're able to get a young man to give his life to Christ, you're able to get a young man or a young woman for that matter to finally buy into the team concept, because I'm a big believer that athletics does help shape and mold some of our future leaders. But what are some of the challenges that you have to overcome on this level that people wouldn't even imagine that you have to deal with?
Yeah, I would say the biggest challenge is just our enrollment numbers. So we have 135 people in the high school. So if you go down the street to Cy Ranch High School, they have 3,000 kids. You go to Tomball, they probably have 2,200 kids. So if you have 3,000 boys in high school, like at a 6A, 3,000 students at a 6A school, you got 1,500 boys, and you can do the mathematics in that. Out of that 1,500, if 10% of them play baseball, that means there's 150 kids in your program. Well, if we have 130 kids in our school, that would mean about roughly 60 to 70 of your boys. Well, that same 10% number, that only gives you 7 players. Well, you can't field a team with 7 players. So the biggest challenge is just being able to not find enough kids to play. That's never been an issue, but finding enough kids that are serious about the game of baseball. And then you're always going to have 1 or 2 players that you have to rely on that aren't really baseball players. Maybe they're a football player or a basketball player, and you really need to get them. You need to get them up to speed so that they can help you. We had a senior this year, Blake Williams, hadn't played in like 5 years. He was probably our best football player. Just wanted to come out for baseball his senior year. He ended up starting in the quarterfinals, the semifinals, and the finals. I don't think the average big 6A public school or 5A or 4A public school coach ever has to really do that, because he's just got more numbers. Doesn't mean my job's harder or easier. It's just a different challenge. We also had a freshman starting this year. Will Hauser was a freshman, and he putting a 14, 15-year-old kid out there, and he looks around and he thinks, oh, my goodness, 5 or 6 of these guys have won state championships before, and here I am as a freshman. That's difficult, too, to get to meld together a group of freshmen, sophomore, juniors, and seniors. We're at a bigger school. It's really, you may have a sophomore on the team, but it's really juniors and seniors. So the challenge is just trying to come up with a good team, a team that works together due to ages, and also just finding players that can really help you. So in a TAP school, I would say most coaches would say enrollment's always the hardest thing. We just don't have the same numbers as a bigger school.
So the depth and everything, and you have to rely on guys to push the tank. And I can also imagine that you have to get guys that are more than one-dimensional. You can't have a kid say, I only play second base, and he doesn't adjust and play any other position. You got to have guys that can fit in different type of moving parts, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Cash Kelso was our first state championship team. He was our starting second baseman at the beginning of this year. He was our starting second baseman. We needed a center fielder, so we moved him to center field. Then we have another guy, Zach Godin. Zach plays left field. He's probably our number 1 and number 2 pitcher. He also plays shortstop. Caleb Cobbs, probably our 1 or 2 pitcher. He plays shortstop also. So there's guys that have to move around. Ryan McWhorter, our first baseman, he pitches. He also had to catch the first playoff game because Cliff Manning, our all-state catcher, was hurt for the first playoff game. So, yeah, one of the things we do at practice is everybody practices outfield and infield. So you go through practice. Everybody takes fly balls every day. Everybody takes ground balls every day, which, to be honest with you, I don't know any 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old kids that are a complete, finished, anything, athlete, student, whatever. So it's good for them to work on the fundamentals of all the positions. And, sometimes you'll get a kid who's never really pitched, and all of a sudden his junior year, you just notice he's throwing pretty hard. Maybe you let him throw a couple bullpens, and before you know it, you got a pitcher there, too. So yeah, these kids, they do have to move around quite a bit. Will Hauser caught a little bit. He played some outfield. He played third base. So they definitely have to be versatile. And I tell players, this would be at any level, the more positions you can play, the better chance you have of getting in the lineup. So I think that's a valuable thing for young baseball players.
Absolutely. You have to be versatile, and I call it being an asset rather than a liability, because if you only come in with a mentality, I can only do one position, I can only pitch, I can only catch, I can only do whatever, then you're really hurting your chances, as you mentioned, of getting out there on the diamond. We're speaking with the head baseball coach of the Rosehill Christian Eagles, back-to-back state champions, Coach Robert Cooper, talking about some of the challenges that he has to overcome playing with smaller numbers but making the numbers count. And I think you'll appreciate this, Coach. Jesus shook the world with 12. And because he shook and changed the world with 12, you're doing it on the same level with small numbers, but having guys understand that if you can be fundamentally sound, if you believe and follow the vision of the coach, then you can achieve some great things if you stay in your lane and work things out as a team.
Absolutely. We have three things that we work on our team, and some of these I stole from other coaches. So we one of our mottos is dominate the routine play. I stole that from Coach Childress up at Texas A&M. We tell it we value base runners, meaning I don't care how you get on base. Walk, get hit by a pitch, get a base hit. Be aggressive, but we don't want to get guys thrown out when they don't need to be. And then also we just tell the pitchers throw strikes. You got 8 guys on defense plus you got 9 guys on defense. So we dominate the routine plays. We value the base runners, and we throw strikes. And if everyone does that, and I'm a huge New England Patriots fan, so I stole this one from Bill Belichick. If everyone just does their job, that all 9 guys out there, but there's more than 9 guys. There's everybody on the team. If your job is to be a bench player and to support the team out there and be loud in the dugout, that's what you got to do also. So if everyone just does their job, usually at the end of the day, the outcome will be positive. So absolutely.
Well, Coach, I wouldn't call it stealing per se. I would say more like borrowing. How's that? Now, Coach, there's always, and it doesn't matter what level it's on, doesn't matter what type of team you're on, you're going to always have what I call a gray area athlete. That's a kid who's kind of on the fence. He's pretty decent, but he may think in his mind he's a little bit better than what he actually is, and then it brings a dreaded confrontational meeting with the parents. Do you have to deal with that much in your situation?
I think if I went, I went to the football coach. I'm not really a football coach, but the football coach at Rosehill invited me to the University of Texas to a football coaches clinic, and Coach Carter was there. He coaches Lake Travis. They're like the 6A state champions in football like 7 or 8 times in the last 10 years. So you would think that guy would be, no, but who's going to question that guy? They've won all these. He said the number one issue, he didn't call it a problem, and I would agree with him, the number one issue that they have is communicating with the parents. So if the most successful high school football team probably in the country is going to have that issue, we probably have it too. I think that the biggest thing you need to do for at any program, whether it be a small private school or a public school, is you need to get to know the parents. You need to communicate. You have to understand that they love their kids, and I love their kids, and sometimes we may see different, but that's okay. So we just have to sit down. We have to communicate, and I try to tell the kids, listen, I love your parents, and your parents obviously love Rosehill because they're spending money to send you guys here. And we're all on the same page, but we all have to understand that only the players on the field are at practice every day. So you need to be honest with your parents, and that we're all trying to accomplish one goal. And I sit down with each set of parents individually at the beginning of the year. We just kind of go over what we're trying to do, and for the most part, we've been really blessed with some great parents at Rosehill. They love their kids, and they love their kids so much that they're spending, for a lot of them, hard-earned money. They're spending that money to send their kid to a private school. So I respect all the parents and love them all. But I think communication is number one, and letting the kids know that, listen, my job is to get you to be the best player you can be, but my job is also to win games. I mean, not win games at all costs, but I'm not going to do something that intentionally hurts the team. So they have to have a little bit of faith in me, and the parents have to have a little bit of faith in me. And to be honest with you, when you're winning, this is true on any team, when you're winning, especially winning state titles, everyone seems to be a lot more happy than when you're not winning state titles. So
winning is the cure-all, correct?
Well, I don't know if it's the cure-all, but yeah, I would say that the key and this would be in the classroom too, because I'm a teacher also. In the classroom also, communicate with the parents. Don't just wait and then send them an email at the end of the semester that Johnny's not doing well. You need to build a relationship early in the semester and let them know that, listen, we're on the same page and we want good things for your son or daughter. So, yeah, so I would say that was the key.
All right, very well stated, sir. It seems like you got a little mileage on your tires in handling that situation. Very well. Coach Robert Cooper of the Angry Birds, the back-to-back state baseball champions, listen to exclusively on the Open Mic Broadcast Network, and we are so glad to have you be a part of it. What has it been like for you to know that your games are being broadcast, Coach?
I always know that I have to look into the dugout at the end of the game because Kendall Cobb wants to probably interview me, so I have to run up there and make sure that I'm available for an interview. It's great. It's really kind of cool. It gives some validity to the program, It makes the kids love it, some of their friends and grandparents or relatives or whatever are out there listening, and they know that the game's up there. They know that we have a guy who's announcing the games every week, and some of them have been interviewed after the game. So it's really kind of cool, They really enjoy it. I think they think that it makes our program big time, So I'm not sure how many people are necessarily listening, but I know some are. I know that it's great. It's a great tool for any school for friends and relatives of the players that they just can't get there. We have some players who have grandparents live in Philadelphia and all over the country, so they can listen to the games, which is kind of cool. So, absolutely.
Well, it's all part of the design of why we do what we do here at the Open Mic, and we consider ourselves friends of the community, and we want to be there for those student athletes and their families as well. And it's just a joy to know that the service we provide is appreciated, and that you guys we have to catch lightning in a bottle and catch you on these back-to-back winning seasons. And we're just mighty glad and looking forward to a continued long partnership with Rosehill and our other sister and partner schools throughout our network. Coach, we have really been blessed to be able to have this opportunity with you. I want to give you a moment to share some of your thoughts and comments as we come towards the end of this segment.
It was when we all met, and then Kendall Cobb, who really took it and ran with it, and he's been doing the broadcast. He announces that his son is on the team. Caleb Cobb, he's a shortstop and a pitcher, but Kendall's really done a great job, and it's kind of cool. I go up there and he interviews me after the game. He's really, to be honest with you, he's really good at it. I mean, I didn't think, I said, okay, here's a parent just volunteering. But the interviews, I feel like I'm being interviewed by, like, someone who's been years in the booth, So it's been really cool. And to be honest with you, we've been blessed the last 2 years. I mean, we just, things started rolling, and they've gone well the past 2 years. And to be honest with you, I give all the credit to the players because I went 12 years without ever winning a state championship, and now I've won 2 in a row. The only thing that's changed is the players. So apparently it's the players apparently it's the players. Not that we've had good players in the past, but this group, it's like they forgot how to lose. They look at a situation and they're like, well, we just know at the end of the 7th inning we're going to be winning. And it's just, I've been blessed. It's just been unbelievable. There's been days where I've just been driving down the street and I think, holy moly, like we've won back-to-back state championships. I just thought, well, if I could ever just win one, that would be, And then
right.
I was sitting in the jeweler's office the other day about to order our second set of state championship rings, and I'm just like, I've been totally blessed. The school's been great. The facilities that we have are amazing. The parents are amazing. The administration is totally supportive of athletics at Rosehill. So it's been really a lot of fun. So I've been blessed.
I tell you what, it's been a lot of fun being able to connect those families together and highlight these young athletes who put it all out there on the line. And we thank you so much for your efforts and your time, sir. Coach Robert Cooper of the Rosehill Christian Eagles, a.k.a. the Angry Birds. They are back-to-back state champions. And can I get a quote that you're going to try for the three-peat, Coach?
I'm going to enjoy June and July and summer vacation before I start worrying about the three-peat. So, but yeah, you never know.
Hey, you never can tell. Well, let's just put it on this. Since it is Rosehill Christian School, why not go for the 3P? One for the Father, one for the Son, and one for the Holy Spirit. How about that?
I like that. I like that.
All right, Coach Robert Cooper. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. And as always, until the next time, be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.